Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because I'm doing something that I don't know if I've ever done before. Maybe I've done it like once, but we're double uploading. I released a video a few hours ago just briefly talking about the fact that Sony went back on the Helldivers 2 PSN account thing. And now it's time to talk about the PlayStation fanboy salt that came out of this situation. Because honestly, this whole situation really exposed who is a true corporate bootlicker and who's just like a regular fanboy. Now, what do I mean by that? You have people like Reforge and Puerto Rock who are fanboys, but they call Sony out on some extreme occasions. Like this one, for example. Both Reforge and Puerto Rock were not happy with Sony over this whole Helldivers 2 thing, and it was good of them to call them out. However, there were still plenty of people who still defended Sony even during this situation. And these people are the true bootlickers who we're going to be taking a look at today. But before we do that, let me just say I'm sorry if this Helldivers 2 gameplay is kind of bad. As you can tell, I'm in the training area. I literally just bought and played the game for the first time today, so forgive me for that. But anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this. Alrighty, we're starting off strong here. At least there will be less PC players crying on the timeline about Helldivers now. Yes, not wanting to have your account linked to a service that's known for getting hacked is crying. My mistake, guys. I guess next time a corporation does something that we don't like, we should all just stay completely silent about it, right? And see, that's the thing. You can hate PC if you want to. You can be like the biggest PlayStation or Xbox fan ever and hate PC. You cannot deny when PC gamers want something, they stick to it. We have principles and we stand by them. A lot of console gamers are just kind of content with what happens. Not saying that's all of them, but a decent amount of them are. But I mean, like, just look at this situation compared to the Stellar Blade situation, for example. Stellar Blade got censored, so people tried to take a stand against it, but it didn't work because not enough people did it. Sony tries to pull some BS on PC. Within 2 days, they reverse it because of the extreme backlash. It's like a certain old saying, they effed around and they found out. But yeah, sorry guys, I guess that was just us crying. God forbid we don't want to have our Steam accounts linked to a service that gets hacked on the regular. Anyway, continuing on. Alright, so now we're moving on to this TikTok short, whatever you want to call it thing, that I'm sure you've already seen before. And if you haven't, it's basically a pony trying to argue against PC players and say, oh, you guys are just a bunch of crybabies, whatever, this isn't that big of a deal, who cares? So yeah, anyway, this guy posted that video on Twitter and then got community noted, and it basically explains why the video is so dumb. So then, of course, this guy, instead of admitting that he was wrong, got extremely upset and posted this on Twitter. The PC disaster race really showing how weak and soft they are. Biggest crybabies in the community. I mean, it's kind of funny when you think about it. The ponies are calling PC guys weak. But within 2 days, we caused so much outrage that we made Sony go back on a decision they made. Meanwhile, these are the same dudes who are fine with 40% price increases for PS Plus. I said it in my previous video, but I'll say it again. If anything, this situation shows how much we can accomplish when everybody comes together as a community and we speak out against something we don't like. But yeah, we're just weak for speaking up against a corporation when they try to screw us over. The only weak one here is you, because instead of admitting you were wrong, you made a post crying about people making fun of you. But whatever, moving on. Next post, PC players whining and being disingenuous getting rewarded. These homies anyway was review bombing and getting ready to drop all support for the game, and PlayStation wants to figure out what's best for them? Well, yes, dude, PlayStation does have to figure out what's best for PC, because guess what? The majority of Helldivers players are on PC. And on top of that, Steam was giving refunds to everybody, no matter how much time you had in the game. Imagine how much money Sony would have lost if all of those refunds had gone through. Also, is anybody else detecting, like, jealousy from this post? He honestly sounds like he's jealous that PC gamers can actually make something happen and get a corporation to go back on something. Yes, we get rewarded for review bombing the game and speaking out, because without us, the game would be nowhere near as successful as it currently is. I mean, just think about it this way. This game is the 7th highest PlayStation Studios grossing game of all time, and over half of the sales were on PC. Sony would be stupid to not listen to us. But yeah, God forbid you listen to your community, am I right? If somebody complains about something you've done, just cut them off. You don't need their support. You won't regret that in the future. You don't need to take constructive criticism. God, these people cannot be real. Well, I guess luckily they are, and now I get to farm them for content. Anyway, next tweet. I gotta give it to Nintendo. They're sitting back looking at this whole Helldivers 2 PC joke and be saying to themselves, this is why you don't F with PC. It's simple. If you want to play Nintendo games, get a Nintendo. And if you want to play PS games, get a PS5. F PC.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt. and to an extent the air is soft.
God, I love that clip. It's an absolute classic. But seriously, the amount of passive-aggressive rage, what was it, radiating, emanating, I don't know, whatever, coming from this tweet is absolutely insane. This guy is so mad that PC gamers got a W. It's insane. And also, if I want to play a PlayStation game, no, I'll just stick to my PC because they're all going to show up there eventually. The only way I would ever own a PS5 is if it was a gift from someone. Besides that, no thanks. And I guess the same goes for Nintendo games as well, because they may not be officially on PC, but they are on PC. So, in conclusion, cry more. Alright, now we're gonna go down a bit of a rabbit hole here, because we're gonna be taking a look at 3 tweets from Zubitech, and if you've never heard of him before, I don't blame you, because I haven't either. All I know is Delta sent these screenshots to me, and the dude's very salty. Which, by the way, huge shout out to Delta. Almost every screenshot in this video comes from him. I'll link his channel in the description if you want to go check it out. He works with Fertango on a wrestling podcast. Anyway, let's get into the first one. To all the PlayStation executives who follow me, please see this. Helldivers 2 proves PlayStation should never go day and date with PC. This is extremely clear. Okay, I hate to be like that guy about grammar, but why is every single word in that sentence capitalized? This dude writes in YouTube titles. Oh my god, I just realized it. Like, that is exactly how you write a YouTube title. What? Okay, whatever. Not important. The important thing here is, how exactly does this prove that PlayStation should never go day and date on PC? Like, what does this have to do with that at all? Is it because PC gamers actually give backlash when they don't like something? Oh no, these people actually stand up for themselves and for their beliefs. You can't put your games there. Also, it's hilarious because this game is living proof that PlayStation games should go to PC day and date. Because again, PC is the reason this game has been so successful. Over half the players of this game are on PC, which is exactly why Sony buckled so easily. I mean, you know, besides the fact that everybody came together and the devs spoke out and all that stuff. But yeah, PlayStation executives, listen to this random pony on Twitter who can't even be bothered to turn replies on because he's too afraid of getting criticized for his awful take. Alrighty, now let's go to the next tweet. And by the way, I don't think these are in any specific order. I just kind of put them in the video. But either way, all this for a simple PSN account link that every other major publisher has in there, including some of the biggest games in the world right now, which they had no problem doing. One thing is for certain, PC community is entitled group, and those journalists like always show how they biases and liars. PlayStation always classy as usual below. Okay, half of that was like word diarrhea, but okay, whatever. But let's go ahead and dissect this real quick. I already covered this in yesterday's video, but I'll briefly summarize it again. There are 3 reasons this is a huge issue. 1, this was not required from the start, so it's just completely unnecessary. 2, Sony has a history of getting hacked, and this game has kernel level anti-cheat, meaning that if hackers did get into people's PlayStation Network accounts, they could take over people's PCs. And 3, this would suddenly ban like over 100 countries from even playing the game, because PSN accounts are not accessible in so many countries. Hell, some people in some of these countries even tried to link PSN accounts and immediately got banned because you can't make a PlayStation Network account in their country. But yeah, this is just absolutely nothing. Also, with regards to the whole, oh, people have no problem linking accounts for other games, we don't like that either. Ideally, we wouldn't have to link any accounts, but go off, I guess. Also, notice once again, he hid replies, and he'll do the same for this last one, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. I always turn off crossplay in every game that has enabled on PS5. I can tell when they cheat when I'm playing, hence why I turn it off. I hope PlayStation always provides this option, and I will advise others to turn crossplay off as well. Also, to add, I hope PlayStation realizes PC community will never be the PlayStation community, and never do day and date. They probably won't scale back their plans for PC, but shows how bad this space is for PlayStation regardless of revenue generated. Yes, if anybody dares to criticize you, they are bad for you, and you should just drop them immediately. This is what I mean by these guys are corporate bootlickers. They want PlayStation to drop anybody who criticizes them or gives them the slightest bit of pushback. Just imagine an alternate universe where these guys run PlayStation. The company would have died back with the PS1. But either way, now we're gonna move on from Zubitech and onto a tweet that Zubitech retweeted. I know, great variety here. Anyway, let's check it out. My thoughts. PC players won't allow any type of login for future PS games. PlayStation is the only publisher bullied from having logins. Steam is not a great business partner for Sony. PSN worldwide availability remains the same. PlayStation looks weak. Okay, first of all, as long as logging into PSN is optional, I don't really see a problem with it being being there. Just like have the option so that if people want to earn trophies, then they can, but if they don't want to, they don't want to have the security risk, they don't have to do it. Also, PlayStation is the only publisher bullied out of having logins. I mean, PC gamers give every other company crap for forcing logins as well, but this was a special case because, again, dozens of countries were going to get cut off from this game that they already purchased, and PSN is a massive unnecessary security risk. Also, dude, are you actually kidding me? How is Steam not a great business partner for Sony? Like, actually how? That's a genuine question. Maybe somebody can answer in the comments. And then finally, no, dude, PlayStation does not look weak. And again, this is what I don't understand. These guys are like, oh, PlayStation's weak, they buckled to the pressure. So would you rather them not listen to their consumers and lose millions of dollars and millions of customers? I mean, I guess you do because you don't want PlayStation putting their games on PC. God, again, just imagine if these guys ran Sony, even for just a day. 2 words to describe that. Absolute disaster. Speaking of 2 words, Generic Eric, you know, the guy who we were looking at earlier. Well, he's back. He has another tweet. Let's take a look. Congrats to the PCMR. You literally begged, cried, and complained Sony into submission, all because you clowns are too lazy and ignorant to link up your PSN. I'm glad being entitled works for you clowns. Must be nice to agree to stuff and be allowed to ignore what you agreed to. Again, dude, the amount of jealousy radiating from this tweet is just insane. He's so mad that PC gamers actually fight back and get their way. Like, God forbid that ever happens. Also, I love how he says, must be nice to agree to stuff and then ignore it later. Dude, you can't tell me you're seriously one of those people who says, oh, well, you should have read the entire terms of agreement. There's this one little sentence in there that says you might need a PSN account in the future. Therefore, this is all your fault. Like, shut up, dude. Embodiment of a bootlicker.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
Anyway, time to look at a fan favorite, or I guess, you know, maybe not, depending on how you see it. Whatever. An infamous individual, that's what I'll say. J-Tech. The whole PC strategy has made Sony look like a female dog. You know what? I just had an epiphany. These guys are saying that Sony looks weak, Sony looks like a female dog, whatever, because they've never fought back against them before. This is the first time they're seeing that when you fight back against a corporation, you can actually make a difference. You don't just have to take everything. Hey, you know what? Everybody has to learn at some point. It's just Jay didn't learn until about 10 or 20 years too late. But anyway, don't worry. We're not going to end on Jay. We're going to look at one final tweet. Oh, also brace yourselves. This one's in light mode. 3, 2, 1.
Throwing flashbang.
Helldivers 2 was the best thing ever. Now it's the worst thing ever because of one small error. Stellar Blade was amazing. Actually, no, it's awful for some, booby censorship. Developers are getting laid off, but I guess we forgot. 2024 is the year of fake outrage in gaming. Ah, yes, it's all just fake outrage. You know, all the millions of people who complained about it must just be fake outrage, I guess. And you know, selling people a product and then banning them for not having a PSN account months later, that's just a small error, you know? It's just a mistake, guys. Everybody makes mistakes, right? Like, dude, just shut up. This is not fake outrage. This was a legitimate issue, and if it truly was fake outrage, Sony wouldn't have gone back on it. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got for now, although don't worry, I will definitely have more salt soon. The ponies are going absolutely crazy on Twitter and YouTube, so I'll probably make another video tomorrow. We'll see. So yeah, anyway, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern for Salt streams, and I will catch you all next time.